Hi, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Bengal Magazine. We are inside the Buffalo State Auditorium because we're talking to record setter Connor Mergler, who just won the 50, 100, and 200 free at the conference meet. He is moving on to the NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships in 2 weeks, so we're going to talk to Connor a little bit about that. After that, we're going to go inside, talk softball with Marie Curran. Marie is bringing along senior pitcher Lexi Haley, and then Lindsay Abbott from Lacrosse, the head coach in her second year. Lindsay's bringing along Kaitlyn Gustafson, the senior defender. We'll also have Becky Coleman with Bengal Update, and of course, the Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week. When we come back, we're going to stay right here in an auditorium and talk to Connor Mergler. Stay with us. Well, we're in an auditorium here at Buffalo State talking to record-setting Connor Mergler, the sophomore from Amherst, along with head coach Nick Stone of the Bengal swim team. And it was interesting. Before we went on, I asked Connor, you're a senior this year, right? And he said, no, I'm a sophomore. Because when you look at that record board behind us, his name is on there right now 6 different times, and he's coming off an outstanding conference swim meet, and he is moving on to the NCAA Division III Swimming and Diving Championships. Connor, let's just start with the conference meet. Winning the 50, the 100, the 200 free. Did it play out the way you thought it would play out?
The 50 and the 100, I was pretty confident going into it, but the 200 took me by surprise.
Okay.
I knew I was going to probably be pretty good in there, but I never thought coming in first with a meet record.
You know, you said something interesting before we went on camera, and I don't know if you want him to know this or not, but you had said, I think his best is the 200, maybe not the 50 and the 100. Can you explain that? Why do you think that?
Yeah, coming in, he's a great sprinter, but his 200 was kind of undeveloped in the way his stroke is. It's built much more for a 200, 100, 200, 500 as well, but he, as a sprinter, he wouldn't want to do that. So it's with a little more development, it can be a really good race because the way he splits his races are very even. Okay. And he, with his top end speed and his ability to pace, it can be much quicker too.
Connor, take us through your mindset when you let's take the 50 for example. Take us through a race. You know, you're before you get on the blocks, when you get on your blocks. So let's go before you get on the blocks. What are you thinking of, especially at the conference meet and now going into the NCAAs?
I'm really just thinking about first to the wall, first back to the wall, turn, start. I just want to be first off of everything and just to the wall, go, everything.
So the strategy in the 50 is to go as fast as you can right away. I mean, that is the strategy. Mm-hmm. Is there any time to catch up in the 50, or is it that critical that you get off the blocks that well?
It's pretty critical in the 50 because one mess up and that's your race, you're done. So the 50 is more precise, perfect. Everything's got to be spot on as fast as you can.
I have to say that he was not only the swimmer of the meet at the conference championship, but also the national Division III men's swimmer of the week. That's how good this guy is. Let's go to the NCAAs. They're in a couple weeks in Greensboro, North Carolina. That's 2 weeks. What is training like for him right now? Is it still rigorous? Is it more relaxed just to stay stretched, etc.? What's the mindset in training?
Right now we're going to be working on going kind of like tapering now. So we leave 2 weeks from Monday we leave. And so last week was kind of like a build-up. We got up to about 75% of the typical yards he would be doing because we do want to be able to taper from something, but not break him down to the extent where he won't be able to recover for nationals. So it's a lot of speed work and skill work, working on our turns, starts, a little bit more than we would during the regular season because we have more time to do that. And we're back in the weight room doing some just maintenance and overall strength stuff.
And Connor, what's the mindset mentally for you? Okay, you're in the pool, that's the physical end of things, but it's 2 weeks. I mean, there's got to be some anxious moments. You're thinking about it a lot. How do you handle that?
Yeah, every time I think about it, I just get that head rush in the heart. I just keep going, but I always got to stay calm and just think about what I have to do to mentally prepare myself. Lots of sleep, lots of eating good, all like the stuff that just prepare me.
So you're eating good, and this is something that's fascinating. The training table, I always get a big kick out of it. College kids they eat whatever they want, but you're on probably a particular regimen right now. What type of foods are you eating over the next couple of weeks to get you ready?
I'm just eating a lot of carbs.
Carbs.
A lot of carbs.
Okay. And as we move into the Nationals, you're going to be swimming in the 50, the 100, 200. You just heard your coach talk about, well, I think the 200 is really probably his best stroke. But maybe you don't think that. What's your mindset? Where are you most focused in on right now?
My most focused is probably the 50 and the 100, just because I'm not really a big sprint guy for the 200.
Right.
So.
This guy is 6'6". You had told me off camera, then in the conference, that's very unique, but when he goes to the Nationals, there are 6'5", 6'6" guys there. What's the advantage of that? Just the length? Is there an advantage in the stroke, et cetera?
Each person, it depends. So at Nationals will be definitely swimmers, Connor's build, shorter, things like that. It's more so how his ability to feel the water and pull. So his longer limbs definitely help be able to grab more water. But a lot of it comes down to like his muscle type and stuff like that, where he's able to go fast and be able to maintain that as well. So.
We had also talked about the 3 events, and does that take anything out of him, or should he just focus in on one event? And you said no, this is pretty standard. Is that right?
Yeah, most sprinters will go up to a 200, or if they have a stroke that they can work on, or they do really well, they do the 100 of that stroke. Right now, those are Connor's main focus there, and he's swimming one event a day, so and maybe just at most twice a day. So it's not going to take too much out of him to be able to do those.
So we have this fabulous national meet, the NCAAs, and then right when that ends, there's something else very exciting. Why don't you explain to everybody what's happening on that Sunday then?
On the Sunday after all the swims, they change the pool around so we can do Olympic trials, which I will be competing in as well.
And what events will you be competing in for that? It's the same 3?
I'll be swimming in most likely the 50 and the 100.
How does that sit with you? I mean, you're a sophomore at Buffalo State and you're going to be swimming possibly to move on to the Olympic trials. Is that like mind-boggling to you as it is to many of us here?
Yeah.
And you had said earlier, I remember a casual conversation we had in the hallway prior to the season, or when basically training camp was happening. I said, how you doing? You go, well, I'm getting there. So I'm assuming you were a little bit behind and then things caught up. How did the season go? Was that the way it was?
Yeah, I started off a little rough, had to get back into it, a little sore. But as the season went on, I just flew right into it. Felt good, swam good. So.
And you're nodding your head, yeah, that's true. As the coach, you saw him a little rusty?
Yeah, I mean everyone comes in a little rusty because they don't train as much through the summer, and then preseason's very hit or miss with getting used to classes and things like that. So some got in the water, some didn't. And the first week is always a big adjustment, first few weeks. But once we get into it, he took off and there was no looking back. So
this Olympic trial, that's big stuff for this program. How do you use that in terms of building this program and what you're onto right now?
Yeah, it kind of goes to show that someone on the Division III level can reach the success that a lot of the athletes in the area who are looking at D1 schools can make it here. I've coached 5 Olympic trial qualifiers before coming here, and being able to see that they can do that at Buff State and still be able to compete on a national and higher level is just as well as whereas D1, they're probably competing for the conference meet, and that's it. And some of them don't even make it onto Olympic trials. So being able to do that here is kind of a really big tool. So
it's unbelievably exciting, Connor. You're so humble. We appreciate everything you're doing and everything you're doing for Buffalo State, and wish you the best of luck in 2 weeks at the Nationals.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for being on. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go back inside the studio and talk softball. Stay with us. Well, congratulations are going out to this week's Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week, and it's Corey Cox from the track and field team. The senior health and wellness major scored points in 4 events at the conference meet, helping the Bengals place second at the indoor championships. He claimed the long jump title for the 3rd time in his career with a jump of 6.93 meters. He was also runner-up in the 200-meter dash with a time of 22.34 and was 3rd in the 60-meter dash at 7.07. and 4th in the triple jump at 14.17 meters. So congratulations going out to Corey Cox, this week's Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week. And speaking of athletes, we have a former, who's now a coach, Marie Curran from softball, and Marie has brought along senior pitcher Lexi Haley, and welcome, ladies. Getting the season going. Spring is right around the corner. This is good. Give us a little preview on this year's team.
Really excited. We're returning first. Lexi is one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in the SUNYAC. Stephanie Novo, who's all-region, hands down the best second baseman in our conference and region, and really vying this year for being the best in the country.
Wow.
So these young ladies have been working really hard all season to get ready to kind of leave on a great note, take us to another level this year as a whole program.
Wow, that's kind of heady stuff there, Coach Haley. The best. How does that sit with you?
It's definitely a lot on my plate to live up to the potential of that, but I'm really excited for the season. We have a really good group of girls. We're all really good friends, and
Great.
we're excited
It's
to get
gotta
going.
be gratifying too, because I know you put a lot of work in. I see you in Houston Gym. You're pitching and doing things like that. I'm curious, in the off season, what are you working on?
Right now I'm working on some new pitches with Pam.
Okay.
I'm learning 2 new pitches right now that I've never thrown before, so it's exciting to see how they progress and getting into the season with them.
And we'll keep those a secret, because I know a lot of people are watching this show, right, Marie?
Yes,
Okay,
they are.
That's a little joke off camera, so we don't want to get into that. Personal goals. Obviously, you're the workhorse of the staff. Almost 100 innings pitched last year.
Yeah.
When you do well, the team does well. So when you look at your statistics from last year to the year before, what are you trying to accomplish personally?
I definitely want to get ahead on batters more. I found myself throwing a lot of balls, not enough strikes.
Okay.
Getting less walks, less hit batters, and just getting ahead.
Yeah. You're headed down to Virginia, I think this weekend, in fact.
Yes.
And number of games down there. What's the coaching mindset? You've been indoors on hardwood floor. Now you're outdoors on an actual diamond. What's the mindset? Are you working on things? Are you still tweaking? What happens down in Virginia?
We're definitely still working on things. So our normal schedule would have us leaving for spring break still well over 2 weeks away.
Right.
Because we have the latest spring break in our conference. So we've been afforded the opportunity to add this trip in, and it's wonderful because it's early. It's a great competition. Virginia Wesleyan's ranked, I think, 13th in the country right now. So we play them on Friday. So it's a real good step up for the girls to gauge where we are, what work we need to do. And
Okay.
we have 2 weeks before we start, and then we don't stop.
Right.
So once we get into our season, we roll through 36 games in 7 weeks. So it's pretty intense.
So you're at Virginia, and you're talking about the competition, and I'm sure you'll be in the circle. It must be very exciting for you as a student athlete to get out there and play against that type of competition finally.
Yeah, we're ready to get out of the gym right now.
I bet.
I mean, we had a lot of nice days on the turf, so we've been practicing, but it'll be nice to get in the dirt.
Yeah. And then you come back for a little bit, and then you leave again. You're going down to Florida for the actual spring trip, what we would consider our annual spring trip. Tell us about what happens down in Florida, because there's a lot of softball being played.
Yes. For us, it's really unique because it's our season. It's not really practice at
Correct.
all. So we don't do the training as pro baseball teams do. We'll play 2 days in a row, 4 games over the 2 days. We'll have a rest day and then repeat that 3 times. So in 8 days, we're going to play 12 games.
Wow.
So it's pretty intense, and Lexi's going to be in the circle, a full game plus every single day we're down there. So
That's
it'll
fantastic.
be a good work for her.
And I know you have a new toy to play with. You did this
Yes.
winter, and everybody's smiling here, and that's the beautiful batting cage that you're seeing now. Tell us, what does that mean for the current team and for your program?
In the past, we've never been able to hit live, and meaning off our pitchers.
Yeah.
We've been able to hit off pitching machines in a kind of fake way, I would say. But it's gotten our pitchers an opportunity to throw to batters who are in different places in the box. How's their ball moving? Our catchers to work to weaknesses. But more importantly, for our hitters to see something coming at them that moves. And we haven't had that opportunity until this year. So
Right.
we've been very strong offensively for the last few years. So I'm excited to see what step that takes us forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You had talked about some favorite pitches, and you're working on pitches, and we don't want to tell secrets, but I thought it'd be interesting just to show the viewers. I don't know why they call this softball, because this thing is rock hard, for
It
gosh
is.
sakes. But we had mentioned off camera that one of your favorite pitches is the changeup.
Yep.
So there's the ball. Now, you have a knuckle change, and we've gotten approval from Coach Curran to show you the grip. So if you can go real slow and maybe show the viewers how you, and this is amazing, I hope everybody watches this, how you grip and then release the ball for this knuckle changeup.
All right, so you put your thumb on this seam, and then on the opposite seam, I have my pinky. I tuck my 3 fingers in here, and then just pop it out.
And you just pop it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking at it going, well, that's a lot easier said than done. How long did it take you to like perfect that? And when did you start with that type of grip and pitch?
I've done a bunch of different change-ups like throughout my career, and I didn't actually start this one until coming into Buff State my junior year.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would say it took 3 to 4 full months of practicing it every day and bringing the ball with me and snapping it.
Okay. Was this a pitch that you used last year, or is this kind of?
Yeah, I used it last year as my changeup.
Okay. And now perfect. And I know you have another changeup and some other pitches, and that's great. And you said off camera you're at about 60 miles an hour, 62, and you're hoping to get?
I'd like to get a little bit faster than that,
Wow.
64, maybe 65.
Wow. Imagine that, a 65 mile an hour pitch, and the release point is basically 37, 36 feet from home plate by the time she strides and throws. So that's why I'm not getting in the batting cage with you. But ladies, thank you very much for being on the show. Really appreciate it. Best of luck in Virginia. Have some fun down there, and we'll talk more when you come back.
Thanks, Tom.
We're going to take a quick break, but before we do, I want to remind everybody of the Bengal Club Golf Classic coming up on Monday, July 11th at the Briarwood Country Club. If you're interested in playing, and I hope you are, please see the information on your set right now. Give me a call or send me an email. We'll be happy to sign you up for the Bengal Club Golf Classic, July 11th at Briarwood Country Club. Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to stay inside and talk lacrosse with Lindsay Abbott.
Hello and welcome to Bengal Update. I'm Rebecca Coleman here with the recap of news and a look at the upcoming events surrounding Buffalo State athletics. With the exception of indoor track and field, all the winter sports have closed out their 2015-16 seasons. Women's hockey fell 5-0 over the weekend in the ECAC West quarterfinals to Oswego. Despite a disappointing end of the season, the Bengals had a tremendous year and shattered a school record for wins in a season, going 18-8 overall. The previous school best for wins in a season was 11, set back in 2000-2001. Goalkeeper Justine Silva earned Co-Defensive Player of the Year and second team honors, while teammate Aaron Guillen was named to the honorable mention. Third-year head coach Candace Moxley was also named ECAC West Coach of the Year after helping to lead a complete transformation of the Buffalo State program. Men's hockey lost to Geneseo 6-1 on Saturday night in the SUNYAC semifinals. As with the women's team, despite a disappointing end to the season, the Bengals had a tremendous year and also recorded a school record for wins with 15. After an impressive season between the pipes, goalkeeper Mike D. Laverne was named to the All-SUNYAC first team. Teammates Ryan Selkeld and Taylor Price earned second team and third team honors respectively. The All-SUNYAC team for basketball came out earlier this week, and the Bengals had 5 players earn the honor. For the women, senior Britt Perry and sophomore Keontae Edwards were both named to the third team. On the men's side, Lavelle Smith earned all SUNYAC second team honors, while teammates Nico McLean and Michael Henry were named to the third team. Indoor track and field competed at the SUNYAC Championships hosted by Brockport over the weekend. The Bengal men scored 50 of their 109.5 points in the long jump and triple jump events, as Buffalo State finished second out of 9 teams. Corey Cox and Mohamed Kouate each won individual titles in the long jump and 400-meter dash respectively. Kouate's time in the 400-meter dash was a facility record and is also currently the 14th best time in Division III. On the women's side, the Bengals sprints dominated to earn third place overall. Jaslyn Porter, Kataro Burrows, and Chatone Pritchard all claimed titles in the 400-meter, 200-meter, and 60-meter dash respectively. Buffalo State will compete at Ohio Northern on Saturday for a final chance to qualify for the 2016 NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships, being held on March 11th and 12th. Women's lacrosse opened up the 2016 season on Tuesday afternoon at 19th ranked Union. Despite leading early in the game, the Bengals could not overcome 10 straight goals from the Dutchmen and fell 17-6. Alana Hearn led the offense with 4 goals and 2 assists. Buffalo State returns to action with a pair of games at Utica this weekend, taking on the host Pioneers on Friday and Albright on Saturday. Reporting for Buffalo State Athletics, I'm Rebecca Coleman. Now back to you, Tom.
Thanks, Rebecca, for that update. And now we're joined by women's lacrosse, and Lindsay Abbott, the head coach of the Bengals, joins us, along with Kaitlyn Gustafson. We like to call her Gus around campus. And Linz, give us a little preview. It's the first time on the show. We'll have you more. But how does the team look so far?
Team looks good. We've come a long way. In the beginning, we have 5 weeks. We've been inside and outside due to weather. We were able to get out on our very first practice this year in January outside on the turf, which was awesome, especially compared to last year. So I think we've definitely made a lot of big improvements from last year to this
Gus,
year.
how do you see the team? This is your senior year. You've seen a lot of lacrosse here at Buff State. How do you measure up the team so far?
Personally, I think we have the ability to be more successful than we have been in the past 3 years that I've been here, and our team chemistry is something that also has been kind of unparalleled since I've been a part of the team. Yeah,
wow, that's fantastic.
It's really good.
Great. Now, you're really your first full season, second season as coach, but you came in toward the end of August of last year. Man, that's tough because you came in as the All-American from Cortland and blah blah blah, and yet basically recruiting's done. I mean, kids have picked out their schools, et cetera.
Absolutely.
How difficult was that to kind of first get your arms around everything that first year, and then now, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're putting your stamp on the program?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think the culture has changed. Unfortunately, when I got in here, that senior class had 3 out of their 4 years. They had a new coach every year.
Yeah, exactly.
So changing that culture was definitely a little difficult. But I think this year the girls, they're holding each other accountable for my culture. They understand my philosophy. So they're walking out and different things like getting 2 lines. They already know. The team knows, So I think that culture has definitely evolved in the past year or so. And recruiting-wise, it definitely was difficult coming in and not having my own recruits, which is fine. And this year, I think we're trying to start really getting down to my recruits, my kids that I'd like in here and that philosophy.
Well, let me follow up on that. What is your prototype student athlete when you go out and you're looking for lacrosse players?
My biggest thing is hard work. Showing that their work ethic on the field is going to come to Buff State and work for me. That's the biggest thing when I come in and have the girls sit down at my desk. I was like, I know you're talented. I saw you play. But are you a kid that's going to come in here and work hard and want to take your game to the next level? Okay.
You are a captain, and she said off camera, "Oh yeah, she's a captain." So that gives me the idea that she's looking to you to really maybe solidify this culture that we're talking. Do you see your role like that, and how do you go about doing that with your teammates?
Yeah, I definitely see my role as kind of the middleman in between what Coach wants and our teammates, and it's really just holding the team to a higher standard and making sure that we can basically strive to do the best that we can every day, both like on and off the field, really.
Again, on the culture, what is the culture of a Lindsay Abbott team? If you were to say, these are the 4 or 5 areas that this is my culture for this team.
Hardworking, loyalty, athletic, and making sure, like I said, coming every single day, bringing your best. It's not just on the field or when it's game time. It's every single day, and we make sure that their academics are up to standard and trying to get that to the level that we wanted at as well.
Sure, absolutely. First game was yesterday at this taping, but before that, how difficult is it? I'm looking at the schedule, doing my little research, and you don't have a scrimmage before you begin your season.
Right.
And in fact, you began your season with a ranked team, Union, a very good program. How difficult is that, especially from a coaching perspective, where you're just on the hardwood, or you might be out at Coyer and it's 45 degrees, but there's still snow around, this and that?
Right. My biggest thing, I like to play the games. I think that sometimes in the scrimmages, yes, you can kind of see what we need to tweak a little bit, but we do orange and black scrimmage, and and kind of see where we stand as a team. And then I think it's better for us to go in and just get the kinks out in the first game and move right into it. I think having Union on our schedule is good for us. It did show us where we stand, and I think will set us up for a good weekend.
Well, ladies, thanks very much for being on the show. We'll have you back during the season. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Bengal Magazine. Thanks to everybody here at Instructional Resources and for you for viewing in. We'll see you again in 2 weeks for more Bengal Magazine.